happy because of what is happening in my community. Alright? It's not ordinary Friday, it is Saraka Friday in River Sallee, our feast of Thanksgiving that happens every Friday after Easter. I am speaking to you simply because I am the chairman of the organization responsible for spearheading the event today. However, Saraka is a community event. Everybody in the community is involved. Like, so I was born and bred into Saraka. My grandmother was very active in Saraka, and it was not just her, it was like a family, it's a family tradition. If you look at our t-shirt, Anna Edwards Saraka, keeping the tradition alive. She has since been passed on, but then my mother, my aunt, and so on, we are all, you know, keeping the tradition alive, that Feast of Thanksgiving. So I grew up in it, if you want to say, and by growing up in it, I understand it, and I understand the cultural experience attached to it, the historical part attached to it, the traditional part attached to it, and for that reason, I'm passionate about it. All right? Saraka has some tradition attached to it in terms of the food, not lasagna and pie and no. You're not gonna get that in River Sallee today. Okay, if you get that in River Sallee today, it's because somebody having a birthday, right? Not Saraka. All right. So our traditional food: roll rice, roll cuckoo, callaloo, pumpkin, ground provision, yard, follow hard, fowl, pork. All right. Then we have our bakes and we have our saltfish, our cocoa tea, our boiled eggs. Things of that nature. Why this kind of food? When you really examine it, these are the food that come from our land, from farming. All right, and so they had this bartering aspect of it. Okay, and so for example, when I was growing up, Miss Lizzie, they all passed on now, to be honest with you. But we have Miss Lizzie bringing up Chana dry peas, Chana giving her rice, Mr. Jerome dropping over the pork. All right, all of us, we had that bartering and everybody cooking, and then we culminate and we eat it together. All right, so that is what's taking place in River Sallee today. This year, it's growing every year. So last year we had about 37 cooks. I want to believe this year we have 41. And what is nice and important about it is that young people. So we know that the grandparents, and so they are not strong as they used to be. They are not, but the grandchildren and the children are keeping they're keeping the tradition, they're keeping the culture. One reason for that, we understand what it is, and so because of the understanding, we have the appreciation and the passion. You might want to know what are some of my little challenges. You hear what you're hearing behind me? That's one of my challenge. All right, now the amplified music, but with time things change and so do men. But we are trying our best to keep the authenticity, the realness, because be honest with you, I hear a lot of people talking about Saraka and the Cultural Foundation endorsing it. They're not Saraka, eh? They're food fest, they are just saying. The only Saraka it have is in River Sallee. Alright? So La Poetry and River Sallee son. Alright? So yeah.
So you mentioned the Cultural Foundation. How do you think the Cultural Foundation can assist the development committee who spearheads the celebration?
Well, over the years, the Cultural Foundation has played an integral part in our Saraka, in assisting us with what happens at Saraka Village, that's by the playing field. All right, and I must give kudos. I must mention Miss Wells. Yes, so we would have had that rebirth, right, happening under her stewardship, to be honest with you. And so they had played an integral part in sponsorship of what happened at the Saraka Village, and that continues. All right, that continues. But we would like to see a little bit more growth in it. Every year can be given the same type of thing. We want to see, you know, if you take a look and you transverse the community, you're going to realize from year to year to year to year, Saraka is growing. Right? And so because the Saraka is growing and Cultural Foundation is an integral part, the marketing aspect of it, keeping the tradition, the historical part of it, the information part of it, we want the Cultural Foundation to be just a little bit more with us on that. Okay. And I know what is amazing is that the Cultural Foundation helps with Saraka, but Saraka happens in April. So throughout the year, we would like little You know, keeping in
Okay.
touch, keeping in contact,
Information.
finding out what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I went to Maroon Festival more than once when it don't collide with our Saraka. And the money we're pumping in Maroon, I don't see why you can pump in Saraka. Alright? I don't see why you can pump in Saraka because the libation this morning we have it at 5 o'clock, the blowing of the shell and the signifying that it's cooking time, get ready. I saw that happen in Carriacou too this morning because I was morning time minding my business because I know where I want my money to go. You understand? And having said that, I have to thank Donnelly and Anil because they could have been in Carriacou but they choose to be here. Right? Because I'm not seeing you, but welcome.
Thank you.
Alright? So I
You
am
said
thinking
one
that
of
we,
the
yeah.
ways you think that the cultural foundation can assist is having information about the tradition.
Tradition,
Yeah.
right. So,
Culminating with the actual.
very good. And then, Cultural Foundation can endorse information about Saraka in our hotels, in our guest houses. So, like for example, we contact SGU for ourselves. They're sending up 2 buses today, you know. But these things are done. So, Cultural Foundation could help us with that to get through networking and these channels. So we can look for people in the hotel today should be saying we go in Sallee for Saraka today, you know, so they can assist us in that regard.
I have another final question.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed you have an unusual name of your development committee.
Uh-huh.
I want to know what's the
So
story
in Riverside we have a lot of hidden treasures. One of our hidden treasures.
Say what the name of the committee
The
is.
committee is Live Sallee Organization for Development.
Yes.
Right, so a lot of people know that our community is River Sallee. Within River Sallee, we have hidden treasure. And one of our hidden treasure is Live Calabash. Right, it's a bay, a black sand bay, going down that way. So, God bless his soul, Adrian Mitchell, when he was Minister of Culture, and he decided to revive back a committee to spearhead the Saraka in search of the name and so on and so forth. It was like, what can we sell it to that will get people that talking point? You know, look at how you ask, you want to know. By you doing that, you're getting to know about Live Sallee, Live Calabash Bay. All right, and so the name derived from that hidden treasure that we have from there. People like my mommy Anne Marie and Adrian Mitchell and Sister Anne Rose and so, who was the first set of members of the organization. Yeah, and I took over from him due to ailment. He was my deputy chair until he's passed.